Hello and welcome everybody to Game 2 of DIMAGA versus Feast from IEM Kiev. Spawning here in the 3 o'clock position as the blue Zerg, playing from Team Mortal Teamwork, the Ukrainian Zerg, we have DIMAGA. His opponent spawning in the 12 o'clock position as the red Protoss, playing from Team Millennium, the Belgian Protoss, we have Feast. So, DIMAGA was able to take game 1 because Feast just got a little bit too greedy, I think. Feast went for that 4th expansion fairly quickly after getting his 3rd, went for a lot of tech, a lot of upgrades, and DIMAGA said, you know what, the counter to getting lots of tech and lots of bases up, it's building an army and just going and killing them. And that is exactly what DIMAGA did. Built up a huge force off of 3 bases, went and attacked Feast, and Feast just didn't quite have the force to be able to hold it off, and his gateway, or his colossi rather, were just a little bit late to the party, so he wasn't quite able to defend that attack. So here in Game 2, Feast is going to need to take a win here if he's going to want to push this to a Game 3 and have any chance of winning this series. Otherwise, DIMAGA will be taking it away with a clear, clean 2-0 victory, rather. Now, I should mention that this was played in the group stages of IEM Kiev, so this was, I believe, in Group D. I casted games from Group A, B, C, and today I am doing Group D. Tomorrow, I'm actually not sure. I might go back and do Group A again. There are so many good players at IEM Kiev. I'm actually not sure exactly what I want to be casting from this series. There are a whole lot of games I want to check out. I definitely want to see some more games from Feast. I definitely want to see some more MMA games. God, there were so many good players there. I want to see so many of these players' games. And if you guys, I mean, I'm definitely going to be watching all the replays, but if you guys want to see them too, comment down below and let me know which of the games from IEM you want to see, and I will cast those games, because right now I'm just really torn on which games to cast. I've been talking about IEM Kiev for just a little bit too long now, so we are going to be jumping into this game right now, as we can see that Feast went for that very quick Forge, fast expand. Forge went down, followed by that Nexus very quickly here, going to be going for that once again. DIMAGA went for a very, very fast pool because Feast dropped this pylon here to deny that hatchery. This is something that Zerg players are getting almost used to. A lot of Zerg players, let's see, I think Idra is still doing that right now, where he just always throws down that spawning pool because he said, you know what, if I'm going to have to get my pool, or if I'm going to have to get my pool before hatch, I'm at least going to do it on my own terms. And so that's what a lot of players have been doing. Looks like DIMAGA, I think he does prefer to go for the fast hatch if he can get it, but if he can't, he will throw down that quick spawning pool. And this is another interesting idea that we do see from some players, taking that very, very fast 3rd base and then just taking the 2nd when you have the opportunity to. Now, DIMAGA did produce quite a few lings here, and he's getting into his opponent's base here. It looks like he did manage to get a few lings up into the main. Gonna get a good scout, gonna get a good probe count, gonna even see the gas timing to see exactly when Feast is going to be getting onto 2 bases here. Might even get a probe kill or 2. He is definitely trying his best. In the meantime, this photon cannon as well as gateway is now up at the front of the base. The pylon at the front of DIMAGA's base has now been taken down, and he's continuing to not take gas, get lots and lots of drones up and running, and now Feast is going to be scouting his opponent out. Did Feast actually see... Oh, and I hit the back button. That's absolutely fantastic. All right. We are just going to jump right back to where we were. We were at 506. There we go. Bam. Right back in the replay. These lings are still alive in the base. And what I wanted to check before, yes, that probe did actually see that 3rd base going down very fast. So Feast is going to know that he is up against a 3-base Zerg right now. So he should be taking advantage of that by taking his time, sitting back right now. Either, well, okay, he has 2 options. He can either sit back right now, maybe take a 3rd, get some tech up, get lots and lots of probes up, because his opponent is definitely going for a macro-style game. No need to rush out any gateways or anything like that at all, because at this point he knows that DIMAGA is going to be trying to get up this 3rd base and get this really, really up and running and saturated. So there's no rush at all to build up army. He really wants to focus on his economy and on his tech right now based on what he has scouted. DIMAGA amazingly still has these 2 lings alive in the base of Feast, so he's getting a good idea of what's going on in here, despite the fact that there's really not a whole lot to see. So far, Feast opening up very, very standard with this Forge Fast Expand opening. followed by that Gateway Cybernetics Core. One Chrono Boost went down on the Cybernetics Core, I do believe, and now that Gateway just producing sentries right now to use up some of that gas. We do see that one Stalker is now out, finally going to be able to pick off those Zerglings, and Feast finally going to be able to drop down some tech if he's been thinking about going for any kinds of hidden tech. Now DIMAGA, notice he is still trying to get his bases up and running. His main is very well saturated there. We do have about 2 rows of drones there. That's about what you want for minimum saturation. You want 2 drones per mineral patch, so that usually comes out to be about 16 workers, because most of the time there are 8 mineral patches at each base. But if you want a little bit more, I think I've explained this plenty of times before, but just in case you haven't heard this before, then I'll explain it one more time. If you look at any mineral patch with just 2 workers on it, you can see that they're both kind of evenly just trading back and forth on mining this mineral patch, but there's a little bit of time where neither is going to be doing anything. So you generally want to have a little bit more than 2 workers per mineral patch. So generally, 24 would be 3 on each patch, and that's a little bit too many. If you have 3 on each patch, they're going to actually start to be pretty ineffective, because 24 will actually mine at about the same rate as 20 will mine at. So about 20 is right about where you want to be on each mineral patch. So that's generally equates up to 2 rows of workers plus a few more. As we can see, that's about where Feast is right now on both of his mineral sides, so he's very well saturated, and he's continuing to produce more and more workers. This is something that a lot of Protoss and Terran players, you want to keep doing. You want to keep building probes even when you're fully saturated, just so that when you take your 3rd, you can just toss a whole bunch of probes right over there and get a 3rd up and running very, very, very quickly. Now we do see a +1 ground armor is now coming down here for Feast. We do see that the +1 ground weapons has already been completed, and wow, that is a lot of gateways now being thrown down here by Feast. It looks like it's going to be a total of 7 warp gates, and oh, we do have a little bit of a warp prism drop here going on in the main, but DIMAGA manages to pull all of his drones right there, and Feast not quite able to get the warp in, gonna have to just pull back, not really having done that much damage. If we check out the workers killed, yeah, the only worker he has killed is the one he got earlier, and if we check out the harvester count right now, we can see that DIMAGA is up 67 harvesters to 53. He's now been mining on this 3rd base for quite a while, so his economy is going to be looking pretty good here, but is Feast going to be going for some kind of 7-gate timing? Notice he did take these other 2 gas geysers, so he's going to be having a very high amount of gas. Notice that it's not just a 7-gate. I shouldn't call it a 7-gate, because there is obviously a robotics facility here, as well as a robotics bay researching that extended thermal lance. We do see 2 Colossi being chrono boosted out here very quickly, and DIMAGA actually just now starting to take the gold base, continuing to warp in more units with this warp prism. And it looks like he's going to be just poking in here, seeing that that gold base has been taken by taking that Xel'Naga watchtower, and now just needs to get in here. Notice he does have that observer with his army. Very smart move by Feast, very standard, something all Protoss players should be doing. You always want to keep an observer with your army so that you can start to push back that creep at all points in time, and now DIMAGA being forced to produce lots and lots of units. On the production tab, we do see the +2 missile attacks is on the way, as well as Glial Reconstitution, Ground Carapace, Burrow, and Aspire currently on the way. The cancel does go down on that gold expansion hatchery, and Feast continuing to warp in lots and lots of units. His army is going to be growing here very quickly, but he's only got a couple of sentries in the mix, which means he doesn't have a whole lot of force fields. He needs to be very careful with how he micros this, and DIMAGA just coming in with a lot of roaches right now. These roaches are 1-0 in upgrades. Feast is currently 1-1 in upgrades, and these Colossi are doing so much damage to these roaches. Colossi and Stalkers both very, very good against roaches, as Feast continues to warp in more and more units off of this warp prism. Back home, we do see that the robotics facilities are not producing any more Colossi right now, so he is really just sitting on these 2 Colossi and then just continuing to warp in more units from this warp prism. As we can see, more units now being warped in here by Feast as he continues to do damage and push into the natural expansion of DIMAGA. Will DIMAGA be able to hold? He does have a growing number of roaches, but Feast is kind of holding himself into a little tight spot there. DIMAGA does have the concave here to do a lot of damage, but these Colossi doing so much damage. Master Colossus as well as Instructor Colossus, one with 12 kills, one with 15 kills, but DIMAGA is continuing to stream in more and more roaches. The Colossi are now falling, and Feast might actually not do too much damage. I think DIMAGA actually might hold off this push. We do see Immortals now coming in here for Feast, as Feast is just losing so many units. No third has yet been taken by Feast, as Roaches continue to stream in, and Feast is just going to GG out of Game 2, meaning DIMAGA has taken this series with a clean 2-0 victory. Now, I'm not sure that Feast was completely out of that game, to be honest. Yes, he could have been taken a third behind that, and he wasn't, but notice he still had a good number of resources in the bank. He is now down in food, but in terms of tech, DIMAGA really doesn't have that much. He has +1 upgrades right now. He's about to be 1-1 in upgrades. Feast is up in tech right now. 1-1 upgrades for Feast, and man, if we check out the Harvester count, yeah, they were dead even on Harvesters. I'm not entirely sure that Feast had that game completely lost, but Feast chose to GG out after this push was a fail, and so DIMAGA is going to take the series 2-0. Hope you guys enjoyed that cast. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. Please comment down below and let me know what games from IEM you want me to cast, because I am definitely going to be doing some more for the rest of this week, and probably some at the beginning of next week also, as there are just tons and tons of replays to watch. So tune in for all of those, guys, and thank you so much for watching. Take care, guys. Glitch out.